Coming in hot, 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 Lisa shares her financial tips and strategies to build wealth, have fun with finances, and be debt-free without having a restrictive budget. From bankrupt to millionaire, Lisa knows what it's like to feel as if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Her unconventional money multiplier system is the very wealth protocol that enabled her to retire 2.5 years early, pay down $100,000 of debt in 6 months, and move to her dream home at the beach. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to rate the show, give us some love. We would love your review. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you do with it. And some words of advice: pay yourself first. Are you ready to partner with money? Go check out the money dating game at idatemoney.com and choose your partner. We hope you always get the date you want. Hey everyone, Lisa Drennan here with one of our beautiful members, Elysia Skye. She is here to share. We are showcasing her. And if you saw my post in the group, we're going to be showcasing each one of you that wants to be here and just help expand our territory, help expand our network, right? We all have these beautiful gifts and talents, and we really don't know what each other are doing. So, and I've known Elysia for a year, 2 years now, I guess. And I thought she was a client attraction coach, and I was wrong. So see, we don't know what we don't know, right? So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to hear more and to dive in. It's fascinating. Pre-show, we kind of talked a little bit. And so tell us exactly what you do. What's your mission statement? All the good stuff.
Hi, love. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I was so excited when I saw your post that you were kicking this off. And I'm like, let's play. I love your group. For those of you who are watching, if you're new to this group, it's such a safe, wonderful space full of abundance and energy. And Lisa is such a fabulous human being. So I'm so happy to be here. It's funny. Some people do think I'm a client attraction coach because the majority of my clients who work with me get clients from the work that we do. And primarily, I'm an intuitive business coach. And one thing that we were just talking about is I'm extremely intuitive. I'm very psychic, even though a lot of people don't use those words. I did a lot of psychic development training since I was really little with my mother and other people. I'm an energy healer. I love all the spiritual stuff and the woo-woo stuff. And I happen to be really good at business. So I have launched and started a handful of successful businesses in my lifetime. And I know that one of my, and this is in my astrology chart too, which we could talk about later, but it's part of my dharma to help other people, and primarily women, really expand their businesses without feeling that fear and judgment of what are other people thinking about me. And when Lisa was like, "Are you a client attraction coach?" I said, "I'm a get the fuck out of your own way coach." That's what we do. And also, I have a background as a video producer and course creator, and not a course creator in the very modern, 2023 sense of the word. I helped produce and create courses and curriculums for major universities and moved them online, and worked with a lot of professors and actors who are not comfortable being on camera delivering something that's not like a fun script, right? So the course creation process is something that I have spent a lot of time in the academic world and in the branded entertainment world. And I created a program called Course Creation Clarity, so that anyone can create a course. And some people ask me to produce and create their courses for them. So I get to do that once in a while too, which is really fun.
Oh, I love that. I know someday I'm going to have courses, but I'm the type of girl, like I'm an independent insurance broker, and I have to do recertifications for all the carriers that I'm contracted with. And right now I'm in 14 different states, and like there's 26 carriers in every state. So I'm watching videos for recertifications, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like and I say some carriers' videos are really entertaining, and other ones are like, are you done yet?
Oh, thank God for double speed, right?
Yeah, well, some of them don't let you do that. They don't even you have no control buttons. Like you literally have to sit there and you can't do anything but watch this video. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Others ones you can double speed and all that. So it's a beautiful gift though, because to be able to create a course and have people entertained, like my whole thing is like, we'll have a module, like in wealth activation, we have a module that's 7 minutes. That's the longest video I'm going to make you watch.
Yeah. And that's true.
Yeah.
Like you're right on there. So in 2012, I worked with Google and YouTube for part of this huge campaign called the Google Initiative. And most people probably haven't heard of it, but they reached out to, I think it was about 100 or so of their top influencers who had over 1 million followers. And they gave us each $1 million. I wasn't one of the influencers, but I was on the production team, and we created content. And they did so much research at the time because Vine was like blowing up, and they were like, should content really just be like under a minute? But what they learned is that once you get past that 10-minute mark, people really get antsy. And like, Lisa, you know, even just from watching these insurance courses too, don't we all, whenever somebody sends us a video, don't we, the first thing we do is we look and see how long it is, right? And so it's one thing to say, well, oh, well, I have to watch it, so I'm just going to watch it and grin and bear it and get through it. But as a creator, it's another thing to go, you know what? I can get my point across. And if it needs to be part 1 and part 2, that's fine. But let me give my audience a little bit of space to really receive it. Right. And journal through it or work through it or do the homework in between. And I love that your videos are only 7 minutes, because it just feels, it's like palatable, you know, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. And with finances, sometimes we do have to break it down, because I was surprised that a lot of women, you know, they're financially illiterate, and some of the terms, and if you go too fast, they're like, I don't get it. And they need more support that way. So if they get it in just bits and chunks, it makes it so much more fun and easy. And, you know, I always like, one of these days, if I could sing and dance, I'll probably sing and dance, but I'm not a good performer. But, you know, I always have like this vision. But
we can have a dance party if you want to. I'm actually more introverted, but
yeah,
I could see you doing it. And, you know, being that considerate of your audience and knowing that these things are hard for them, you know, if they're dealing with financial, you know, illiteracy, or just our parents don't teach us about money,
right.
You know, so we got to kind of figure it out on our own. And it's part of your generosity as who you are on the soul level, Lisa, that you're going, you know what, I want to be generous with how these courses are laid out so that my clients can get the best results. So I don't even know if you were aware you were doing that, but you were doing that, and it's really special.
Yeah, no clue. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Awesome. I'm generous at heart. Like, there's 7 archetypes in the money dating game on my website, and Grant the Giver is one of them. And I always like, I'm just like, I mean, we all have all 7 of them in us, as you probably know. But I'm like, who do you want to partner with? But who are you most like? And Grant the Giver, and well, Sell the Spender and Grant the Giver are my top 2.
I love that. Yeah.
So just giving all away. So how did you get started in what you're doing with your intuitive coaching, and then combining all the beautiful talents that you have?
Yeah, that's a fun story. I was officiating a wedding. Have you ever officiated a wedding?
No.
Like a lot of people have. It's like this random thing, especially in America. You just sign up online and then you're a minister, right?
Yeah.
So,
one of my coworkers, when I was working in Social Security, did that. She married like 3 of her relatives.
that is so fun. Well, the shortest version of the story I can tell is that my father and grandfather officiated weddings. And when I was a little girl, in the 80s, I used to go with them, and I would bring a tape recorder. So my dad would offer that they got a tape recording, a little audio recording of their wedding ceremony, which was really sweet. So I attended so many weddings, and I grew up just loving weddings and living in LA. And I was actually pursuing an acting career, and I was bartending. And my sister was a wedding photographer, and she's like, hey, why don't you get ordained and then get out of the bar scene? You're still going to be working nights and weekends, but at least you'll be doing something really beautiful and giving back. And it's a way to kind of be on stage, but not be the lead. And like, I wanted all of that, you know, that's that introvert energy again. And I started officiating weddings. I've actually officiated over 1,000 weddings.
Oh, wow.
Crazy to think about. And some celebrity weddings. I have some fun, fucking crazy stories. We'll talk.
I want to know the celebrities you've hung out with.
We'll talk offline. I've been in entertainment for a long time, so if you love them, I might know them or know someone who knows them. But anyhow, we can chat more about that at the end of this live too. I officiated a wedding for the head of learning and development for Banana Republic, this guy Dan, and his wife Kita, and he called me the next day and said, you know, Kita and I had both been married before, and we remember every moment of your wedding ceremony. And he said, it's because you did a mindfulness meditation with us before we walked down the aisle, so to speak, because it was in the woods. And he said, can you come to Banana Republic, and can you bring this energy of mindfulness to help people really feel safe and calm and just remember more, be more present, right? That'll help them be more productive. That's going to help the bottom line. It's going to help reduce stress, all those things, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, absolutely. I will I will come, I will lead a workshop on this, da, da, da. We hang up and then I Google, what is mindfulness? And I'm like, I said, yes, I don't even know what I'm doing. I just know I need to show up and do what I'm here to do. Thank you, God in the universe. Right. So, then I looked and so I was reading all about, it's another way to express Zen Buddhism, brought over, and my mother raised me Zen Buddhist, even though my family is Jewish. And I was like, oh, this is easy. This is everything I teach and I talk about. And I had already been life coaching on the side. I got my life coaching certification in 2016-ish. So this is all kind of happening around the same time. So I just started doing workshops and seminars for Gap and Banana Republic, and they started referring me to other brands, and management and employees who were coming to the workshops asked if they could work with me so that I could help them be their mindfulness coach, and what wound up happening was, because I love talking about money and I love talking about abundance and productivity and life purpose and happiness and all that stuff, a lot of them quit their jobs and they either went on to other companies or they started their own businesses, or some of them found their purpose within the brand and rose to the top. And it was funny. It got to the point they called me in 2018. They were like, we're doing a big layoff. We're going to fly you to New York. Can you just make everybody feel better? I was like, it was 2019. I was like, yeah, I could do that. And I was like, I'm like, the people who are not getting laid off, they might quit if you bring me in. They're like, that's okay. Right? So I realized that I have a gift in helping people truly discover and take action on behalf of their life purpose. But it came through that huge gift from Dan and Kita inviting me to officiate their wedding.
Wow. I have chills. That's awesome. Love that. So,
Man.
and to tap into that and realize, I love how you had to Google what mindfulness was.
It's like a buzzword. Now it's a huge part of my brand. I say it every day, but at the time I was like, what is this? Right.
Yeah. I know. It's funny because a lot of people don't understand the mindset piece. Right. And I'm a certified aromatherapy practitioner, and we use the power of thoughts with scent to connect with those feelings and those memories that dictate our money story. And people are all like, what do you mean? Like, if I say captivate thoughts, people are like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, think about what you're thinking and why you believe what you believe. It's all about your mindfulness. And they're like, oh, I get that. But I always like the manifestation part. Like, well, I'm going to manifest money. No, you're not. No, you're not going to do that. Just please stop. You need to do other things with that. But that's a big buzzword too. And I think a lot of people, we're that instant human being. Like, we hear something, but we really don't hear it. And then we go off on this little tangent, and then we don't know why nothing works. So I love how you come in and you're like, no, we're just going to get you out of your own way, and you're going to do what you're meant to do. So a lot of us have gifts and talents. We had talked before, like I went through 3 niches because I was afraid to do what I love to do because I didn't think I was worthy. Right. So what is like the one common thing that you see when you're working with people? Like, do you see a common thread, and what's the difference? I'm not quite sure how to ask this question and articulate this question, but what I want to know is, like, when you meet somebody and you're like, oh, okay, this is what you need to do, or like, how do you tap into that energy?
Well, some of it is intuition. I hear it, I feel it. And just, having that instant energetic impression from these people. And, the majority of everyone that I wind up connecting with are generous and loving and intuitive and creative, and powerful in their own right. And that's no accident. When we operate from that truth of who we are and we share from that place, and then we seek out relationships like that, relationships that aren't in alignment fall off. And then people who are meant to be in our lives come into our lives. So I'm already starting with clients who are so aligned energetically, like on the soul level. This isn't like avatar stuff. You know what I mean? and so then
but we love the avatar.
We do. It's fine. It's fine. But it's we see each other, we know each other, we get it, right? So just knowing from the start, okay, this person speaks my language, and I have permission to tap into their energy. And then just learning a little bit about anybody, one of the first questions, and this is in my ebook, I'm happy to share that with you guys too. It's called The 7 Secrets to Waking Up Happy Every Day. one of the questions in my ebook, and it's so simple, is if you won the lottery jackpot, you never had to work again, how would you spend your time? Right. And when you answer that question and you really think about, how do I want to spend my time? At first, we're all going to take vacations and we're going to fuck off. We're going to pay our family's debt and And then, but then what? Right. So it's in the then what that leaves clues for your own purpose. What do you really, really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, a lot of people are motivated by making money, and I think that's great. And that's really cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. But how do you stay motivated if you didn't need to make money? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you continue even after winning the lottery to make money because you want to. Right. So whether or not you need the money, what is it that you are divinely drawn to? And so we start to have those conversations. And then I encourage you to get into what I call mad scientist mode. And Abraham Hicks more or less refers to this as the vortex, but my husband calls it mad scientist mode. Like, he's a songwriter. So when he goes into writing music, he goes into the lab in his studio, and like, Lisa, I swear, like, it feels like days go by and I'm like, have you eaten? Have you used the restroom? Did you come to bed or just sleep on, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like in the zone, you don't want to stop because you fucking love it. Or even if you're frustrated because you're solving the problem and then you get there. Right. So it's like, what are you doing when you're in the lab? And
Mm-hmm.
so I just sent out an email to my list with explaining this. And I have a meditation called In the Lab. And if you're not sure, ask the people in your life, what am I doing when I'm at my happiest, when I'm just in the zone? What do you notice? Right. And again, find clues into your zone of genius. And I love The Big Leap. I'm sure you've read The Big Leap.
Mm-hmm.
And, with Gay Hendricks breaking down your 4 zones of consciousness and into your zone of genius, I still had so many questions about, well, how the fuck do you figure out exactly what your zone of genius is? And those are the pieces for me. The lottery question into mad scientist mode, and then just start doing it. Right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Lisa, if you won the lottery jackpot, and it's been like wild lately, right? Like, what would you do with that money?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'd have all kinds of things to do with that money. One, I would sponsor 60 women facing unplanned pregnancies. So it's like $536 to sponsor one woman through this company called Compass Care. And then there's this other organization called Family First that helps these ladies. And then I have my own not-for-profit, Divine Timing Ministries, for women post-abortion. And we just became a 501c3, and we just started collecting donations, and we have a retreat planned for our first retreat planned for April. We're doing a 12-week class starting in January called Forgiving the Girl Inside, a healing journey post-abortion. And then from there, we want to do retreats, and we like to offer them every quarter. And we know not everyone can, afford to fly and travel, especially if they have little kids at home. So we really want to build up that fundraiser, that account to help sponsor these ladies. So those would be the 2 first things. And of course I would volunteer, because I volunteer for everything. It's like, I have a sign that says, I will help you. For years, I worked full time, and then I always had 3 side gigs, and then I volunteered. And one of the things I volunteered as was a treasurer for 3 not-for-profit organizations.
Wow.
And I loved it. I mean, I was working with money, I was doing taxes. I just loved doing it. So what I'm doing now is very much aligned. So if I won the lotto, I would still be doing this, because I love helping people. And it all just fits in perfectly with my niches. And then of course I would travel Europe, and I would hit all of the United States. On my bucket list, I want to visit every single state in the US.
Nice.
But then I would go to all the places in Europe. And then I just want to be able to help young people. Not everyone needs to go to college, but there's a sense of, and I think we're starting to get away from it, but there's a sense of, oh, I have a college degree, I should be having a job doing this. But just for them to have that opportunity to realize, I don't need this certification or this degree to do what I want to do. I can do it because I have the skill set, and to be able to do that. And the last thing I would do is I would go into all of the schools and teach my wealth acceleration program. Let's get the kids young and teach them, so we can build these beautiful 7th generation millionaires, multimillionaires. So
incredible. As you were talking, I was seeing from your going back from your retreats, right? These women who are seeking this healing and this community, right, from the retreats, but they all can't necessarily afford, right? So this is a sponsored situation. And then there's a second experience or a second tier of the retreats where they get to learn about the wealth activation.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a gap that's bridged there. And then when you were talking about the kids and the school, I really do see you on stages, so it's not just in a classroom, like it's bigger stages, and creating workshops and seminars and panels about this stuff. And with these kids that may or may not want to go to college, it's motivating and inspiring them, to create wealth in different ways. And you can do that on bigger stages beyond the podcast too.
Yeah.
Right. So if you were, this is all a roundabout answer to your question, but if you were my client, it's okay. I would start encouraging you to build your speaker sheet and start booking some speaking gigs. And for everyone who's watching and listening, you can do that stuff for free. Okay. You can create a speaker sheet in Canva, just Google speaker sheet template and put your picture in and any of your social media stats. And then the Speaker Lab is a great resource. Grant Baldwin over there is awesome. And there's so many places to get free speaking things to start building out your resume and whatnot. And then you start getting paid for them, but it's time to just get you on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Too, right. And you feel it. I know you feel called. And that's what an exciting thing, and also part of your generosity to speak to larger groups of people. And when you have conversations with people, no matter how many people are there, I know it feels intimate because that's a big part of your heart too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I love doing stuff like this. And, we have our visionary panels once a month, and we bring in, like today was the accountants. We brought in the visionary experts of accounting. And last month we did sales, and November we're doing creatives. Cool. So, and it's really cool to tap into their minds and see, like, this is their relationship with money, and this is how they're helping people, what they're doing to expand and to create that, reciprocal energy of giving and receiving. So it's so beautiful. And I love that skill set. So would you mind sharing like the little meditation that you do and give us like a little taste of it?
Sure. We want to just meditate right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So if you are tuning in, put your feet on the ground. Okay. We do this because, especially as busy people and spiritual people, we tend to leave our bodies more than we realize. And the soul can get bored. And I don't know if antsy is the right word, but if you're just so locked into something and feeling uninterested, like we tend to leave our body more than we realize. And you'll prove to yourself that you do, because you'll have just read a whole website and not remember anything you just read, or read 5 pages in a book and not remember it. Right. So that's part of mindlessness versus being really mindful. And so when we are extremely busy and or spiritual, we want to choose to be in the body. So with our feet planted on the ground, we are already intending to choose to be here. So you can close your eyes and just breathe and be in your own frequency, tuning into your heart, scanning your body from this little crown above your head, this beautiful golden halo, all the way down to your feet. You don't have to do it fast or slow, whatever you want. Using your exhale to release anything that's worrying you, any fears, any doubts, any limiting beliefs, any energy that isn't yours, any expectations from others. Just use your exhale to let that stuff go. You might see pictures or images, or you might just have memories. Just choose something to release. Setting an intention that anything that's in your way gets to be removed just for now. And if it's meant to come back and help you and support you and teach you a lesson in the future, it certainly will. So just let go the best that you can. And in this beautiful space of neutrality, I want you to tune into your heart. Your heart chakra is front and back, left and right. The color of the heart chakra is green, like the Emerald City in the Wizard of Oz, a beautiful green. And feel free to allow this aura to expand out as far as you'd like. and check for any imperfections, any holes, and just fill it with light, knowing that you are an infinite being of divine love. And your only purpose here on this planet is to love and be loved, to forgive and love over and over and over. Always doing our best to not take things personally and to be as compassionate as we can with ourselves and others. Learning and growing and being a mirror for everyone who comes across us, being that lighthouse, not the lifesaver, shining that light so bright so that anyone who comes our way who is meant to be helped will find their path illuminated. And you get to guide them. So breathing into our heart, go ahead and receive any energy that is meant for you. Love, abundance, wisdom, momentum, clarity, healing. Anything that comes through, just let it land in your heart as we connect more deeply to your divine purpose. And it doesn't matter how spiritual you are, how scientific you are. Right now, you are choosing just to be human, just to be here right now. If there's any thoughts that are coming through that are distracting you, just watch them wash away like an ocean wave, going back into the water. Go ahead and take 3 deep, beautiful breaths in and out. Good. Now I want you to imagine there's this movie screen out in front of you. And on this screen is your lab. This is your creative space. It gets to look however you want it to look. It could be your actual office. It could be somewhere fantastical. It could be a place that you hope and dream to have one day. It doesn't matter. You get to be there right now in this laboratory. That's all yours. And your tools in this laboratory are exactly what you use when you create. If you're an artist, it might be paint or pencils, it might be scripts or computers. If you're a coach or a healer, there might be books, pens, paper, herbs, oils. Whatever you require, just magically call in everything you could ever need into your lab. Nothing is missing. You don't have to go anywhere. It's all there. You get to magically make it appear. And in this lab, you notice a monitor, like a computer monitor or a TV monitor. Go ahead and turn it on. It might be a little staticky at first. And what begins to play is a surveillance tape of the last time you were in the lab. So go ahead and sit for a minute or two in curious observation as your past self, your higher self, shows you exactly what you do when you're in the lab creating on behalf of your purpose. If you need to make it brighter, make it louder, you can do whatever you want. Just watch, receive, and remember. If you start to notice something that you never actually did before, that's okay too. It's your higher self giving you clues on what you should be working on. Not from your brain, but from your heart. Go ahead. If you're not a visual person, that's okay. You can feel it. Feel the feeling of what it's like to be in the lab, creating and doing exactly what you're meant to do. Money doesn't matter right now. You are infinitely abundant. And what you are creating, everything that you're doing, is part of your path to your abundance. Now, in your lab, find a notepad, find a pen, and go ahead and write down any guidance from your higher self from this experience. What is it that they want to remind you of? Could be one sentence or one word. Just go ahead and receive that information right now and watch yourself write it down in the lab. Now go ahead and receive one word that summarizes what you wrote down. Don't overthink it. Allow it to arrive. Good. When you're ready, you get to look around this space, giving gratitude for the privacy and all these tools and your power to create anything you want. Allow that gratitude to fill your beautiful heart, front and back, left and right, your chest, your lungs, your ribs, your angel wings, expanding out so big and wide, holding you and comforting you, reminding you that you are worthy and deserving of all the happiness that you could ever imagine. Go ahead and wiggle your feet a little bit, coming back into your body, checking your grounding. Start to move your shoulders and your hips and your arms. Feeling your butt in that chair. If you have long hair, feeling your hair touching your face. If you wear glasses, feeling your glasses on your nose. Feeling your clothes on your body. Just being here. And when you're ready, open your eyes and gently start to come out of your meditation. Be here right now. And I encourage you not to rush into lots of other things. Just sit and enjoy the rest of this conversation and then take some time to journal.
That was beautiful. Very relaxive. And it was funny because right before you said, what's the one word that describes it? I already had that one word. And I have been doing one word since at least 2013. And I write down my one word, and it's not a calendar year. It's just when I'm ready, I switch. And it usually is around the 12-month mark. So this year my word was connection, but my new word is now expansion. And I was like, that's awesome. And right when you said to like move around, my dog got up. I just thought that was fun. But yeah, what came up for me was networking. And it's kind of like, I was like, well, what do you mean networking? I don't want to be like everyone else and do networking. That's no fun.
So then what do you think it means?
Well, networking is expanding our territory and getting to know others and how we can help each other and build those bridges. There's so many gaps, and, you had referred to like the holes, and a lot of times we need each other to fill those holes, right? It's so many people think, especially if you're a solopreneur, that, I can do it on my own, or, we have excuses, we have these stories. And no, we're meant to be with others and to create this beautiful community and to tap into that. into their energy so that we can expand ours. So it's going to have a cool name. So you'll see something pop up in the group about it.
I can't wait. And you know, my friend Andrea Quinn wrote a book called The Quintessentials, and chapter 6 is connect. And she says, you know, the only reason that anyone is here is because two people chose to connect.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it was in person or in, you know, hey, I chose to donate and I chose to receive, right? Receive, create. So you're absolutely right, Lisa. That connection is what we require. You know, you talked about human design earlier. Like, even if you're, you know, single definition or whatever it may be, we do better when we have someone else that we're sharing this energy with and boosting each other up, and we're champions and cheerleaders for one another's joy and, you know, and expansion. That's such a perfect word for you.
Yeah. Yeah. This was amazing. So how do people connect with you? How do they work with you? How do they tap into your zone of genius?
Oh, thanks, babe. Well, since we're doing this live, and if anyone's watching later, I am launching my next virtual retreat. It is called Course Creation Christmas, and it's Muppets themed. That's the name of my dog. I love the Muppets. So we're actually going to get your course done in 5 days. I'm not calling it a challenge because I feel like women deal with enough challenges. And it doesn't just have to be for women. But I created my course in 2 days, and last year was so successful. When we did Course Creation Christmas, we did it in 3 days. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give everybody 2 more days, and then we can get more into sales and selling the courses too. So if you are thinking of creating your course or making your course better, and it doesn't have to be a video course, it could be live delivery courses, it could be an audio course, it could be a PDF driven workbook based course, come to my retreat. Super affordable for 5 days. It's only $99 or $180 for the VIP. So that's the first thing. And then we'll actually be on Zoom live together doing all the magic. And that's coursecreationchristmas.com. If you're watching this later, you can, of course, you know, purchase the replay, or you can join me in the bigger program of Course Creation Clarity. I'm Elysia Skye on Instagram and all the socials. And my weekly intuitive business coaching program is called the Brilliance Method. And the tier that we get together every week is called Sapphire. I have a diamond level. It's one-on-one. And right now that is oversold. So I'm not taking anyone for that until January, but the Brilliance Method Sapphire Collective is open, and it's a wonderful, incredible group of women. We get together every Wednesday and we do 2 hours of coaching, and you know, there's a lot of mindfulness training. I'm happy to help with any business questions you have. And then we get into, you know, Q&A stuff, and it's magical. So it's fun. It's fun to be in this world. Oh, my free Facebook group, the Trailblazer Community, which I just gave you a link to in the Zoom chat, so you could share it with everyone. So many ways, all the ways.
I love it. Yeah, I'll definitely put those links in the comments for the group members to access it. But this is going up on my YouTube channel, Money Talks. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go over there and you can share the link, and I'll cross post it as well, because this was gold, you guys. And if you're feeling stuck and, you know, you need to tap into your mindfulness. Like I always say, like, our thoughts are the most powerful tool that we have. And if you can connect with your gifts and talents and what you're supposed to do, just think about your growth and how many more people you're going to connect with and touch. And that's going to create that ripple effect. And that automatically brings in the money. And then when you have all this money coming in, you can connect with me as your wealth activator to multiply the money, because this is what we want to do.
That's fantastic. Oh, and yeah, please share this with me. I'll be posting this in my group as well. And more people need to know you and what you're doing. And thank you for that invitation on my behalf as well, for people to know me and what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's all about expansion, right?
Yeah, baby. That's the new word. I love it.
Right. So everyone, be sure to check the show notes, the comments in the Facebook group, connect, and do all the things. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you do with it.
Yeah. Yay.
Coming in hot, Lisa shares her financial tips and strategies to build wealth, have fun with finances, and be debt-free without having a restrictive budget. From bankrupt to millionaire, Lisa knows what it's like to feel as if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Her unconventional money multiplier system is the very wealth protocol that enabled her to retire 2.5 years early, pay down $100,000 of debt in 6 months, and move to her dream home at the beach. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Be sure to rate the show, give us some love. We would love your review. And remember, it doesn't matter how much money you make, it's what you do with it. And some words of advice: pay yourself first. Are you ready to partner with money? Go check out the money dating game at idatemoney.com and choose your partner. We hope you always get the date you